Yo, it's Midas. Let's talk about the Palantir of drones, and that is Ondas Holdings. So disclaimer, everything said in this video is only for educational purposes, so make sure to always do your own research. And this is why you should listen to me. Will I beat the S&P 500 by 103x in less than a year? If you want the proof, you can take a look in my link in bio. And this is day two of researching 10x asymmetric companies until I hit 10,000 followers. You could follow for the journey and for more stock picks. Now let's talk about the defense and autonomous systems growth story. Right now, we have rapidly trending stocks in this sector. Strong news catalysts for defense, drones, especially with Palantir leading the way since last year. And there's lots of growth in autonomous and defense technologies. So the revenue is ramping up and the capital strength, and you can even tell it from the macro in the world right now, where Iran, Venezuela, the US, all these different areas are now trying to up their defense budget. And even Trump mentioned that he wants to increase the American defense budget from 1 trillion to 1.5 trillion over a couple of years. So right now there's many tailwinds that symbolizes that US or defense and technology is going to be a hot trend for 2026. So first of all, what is Ondas? Well, it's a technology company focused on autonomous systems and critical communications, mainly focusing on drones. And they have two main business units. They have the Ondas Autonomous Systems, also known as the OAS, and the Ondas Network. This allows for defense, security, rail, and infrastructure technologies. Now, for the recent stock momentum, Ondas has been flying recently. I called this back at $7 now, but recently now it's up around 80%. And I first called this back on my TikTok around $1. So I'm very surprised at this momentum that the stock has been going up and just been going up like crazy, basically a 10x from my $1 call. And the shares jumped around 19% ahead of Investor Day and Needham Conference. So the recent run-up has attracted retail and institutions. You can see it on Reddit, you can see it on X. Everyone is talking about this drone company. And they also had a $1 billion share and warrant deal priced above the market, which signals strong demand. And this is very bullish for the company. I've never seen it before. Now, for the autonomous system orders, Ondas secured a $10 million in new autonomous systems orders, which basically pushed the price up a couple percent. This means a new $10 million purchase orders in multi-domain autonomy portfolio. Growth driven by counter UAS drones and ground robotic systems. And finally, they're expanding their presence in global defense contracts, where another contract they recently got into was with the UAE. That means they have ties to oil money. Now, with some strategic acquisition, they acquired this company, which is a cyber over RF and counter drone tech, which taps into the UAE market. And the UAE is investing a bit of money into defense and technology right now, so this is a hot stock. And there's also an investment in performance drone works expands combat robotics. And these moves broadens on his defense tech ecosystem. They also have a strong balance sheet where they showed significant growth in assets. So you can take a look at the AI from Google Gemini. You want to see the right numbers, but 550 million in Q3/Q4, which shows a substantial increase from previous quarters. And they have 433 million in cash and cash equivalents as of September, which is huge for the company. That means you're not going to be able to dilute anytime soon. And even if they dilute, they won't get bankrupt. And they've raised 855 million for scaling and M&A. They also have a growing backlog and pipeline for them to achieve success in the next 5 years. So their backlog is greater than 23 million and expanding 40 million, including acquisitions. They have that increasing demand for counter UAS robotics and rail communications. Remember, like I said, defense and technology, it's expanding all over the world. And Ondas, Palantir, Archer, all these different companies are leading the way to change how our military responds to different, opponents. And they also have multiple pilots and international interests using their drones. Now for that competitive positioning. You can take a look at the chart right here. By Coherent Market Insights, the defense cyber security market by platform in 2025. And the total market size of this is 17 billion and it's growing every year. So as you can tell, defense and security markets are expanding globally. People nowadays in war no longer want to fight, hand to hand. I believe that the wars now are going to be fought off of drones, and not just defense drones, but drones that could help our world become more efficient. Whether it's like delivering goods, delivering services, we can use drones instead of planes, which are a lot cheaper. And autonomous systems and critical wireless technology are high growth sectors. And on this products like Iron Drone, Optimus address real mission needs. And this is the bullish narrative of Ondas, but the execution of their company and the defense technology demand equals that growth runway for the next few years. And the revenue momentum from real orders, strategic M&A expands capabilities. And the balance sheet allows scaling without desperation financing, so therefore they won't need to dilute to become bankrupt or because they're bankrupt, but they'll have cash on hand. Like I mentioned, they have like around 400 million. And just their drones, their partnerships, their acquisitions helps them become a successful drone company in the next few years. Now, talk about some risk to consider because there's always risk with these high beta companies that could 10x. There's operating losses and negative, you know, EBITDA remain. The high valuation relative to revenues. And this happens to a lot of these technology companies. I would not fade it. This is not like a big risk, but it's something to consider. Like Palantir was not making many revenues until, recently, and people faded it because of that. They had a high PE. Same idea with Ondas. There's also execution risk where the company ever just like, changes management, dilutes too much, or just is not for the shareholders, then they're going to need larger contracts to sustain the growth and the momentum that they have with the drone industry. Because remember, defense and defense technologies are led off of acquisitions, off of the products they sell and the software. So other risks are the community notes, overvaluation, and cash burn concerns. If they burn too much cash in a short period of time, they're going to need a lot more money to sustain themselves. And some see management execution, others call valuation hype, calling Ondas and many other technology companies very overvalued right now. So keep that in mind, especially with companies like this. During bear markets, they will crash more than 50%, usually, because of just how the stocks are, how they're high beta, and how they're usually driven by hype, not just fundamentals. They're going to crash, so keep that in mind for the bear market. Now, for my price target, the current price sits around $13. The current market cap is 5.21 billion. If you want my price target, then join my Midas Syndicate, my VIP Discord. So you want more calls and to learn from me, then join the Midas Syndicate for early 10x stock and crypto picks, my buy and sell alerts, deep dive analysis, private mentorship, and a serious investor community. And you can join using my link in bio. If you have any questions, give me a comment below and I'll respond when I can. And if you enjoyed the video, subscribe and like for more. That's all I got for today. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.